training's actually started. Thanks for that update, Miguel.
Do we have any other questions for Miguel before we let him go?
Yeah, communications, Jordan.
Go ahead, Jordan.
How's it going, Miguel? Yeah, really excited to hear about Reed and that whole development as communications. I would love to see some strategy come down, some basic tenets of like core beliefs, or some kind of structure that we can all kind of adhere to and have like a unified message. I think he's going to come with that, but excited to see what's going to come out with that. So if he's open to doing some like executive kind of trainings, have all the communication directors meet with him and do some type of, workshopping at least once a year or something like that, I think that would be useful just to continue to round out our messaging. I know that's a big thing for Angela. So
I love that idea. Yeah, I'll pass that along for sure. I want to see more trainings for affiliates, and that is certainly one that would be valuable. I would see that being great for kind of any affiliate board member, but especially our communication teams.
Yeah, for sure. But excited to see what's going to happen. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Just to piggyback off that, Miguel, hi, it's Erin, fundraising director. So I know that Angela has talked about having some like decks of training materials for affiliates. I'm looking specifically for like county affiliate training, something a little bit maybe more updated than what we've had in the past, and also any sort of like campaign strategy training. I know that she was planning on, I feel like she has a bunch of that stuff already made and that it was going to be released at some point, but I wanted to maybe check in on that. And if it's already been released, is there an easy way to find it?
I'll have to ask her. She's very generous with sharing all her resources and such.
Really
so
is.
I'm sure she'll be happy to, pass along what she has. But I took down county affiliate training, and what were the others that you were?
Campaign strategy training. I know that there are some. I don't know if there's like people. I know that Jacob, who's our campaigns director, has done some trainings with like Apollo, I think is his name. I don't know if he's a libertarian or just a general strategist, but any sort of like candidate / campaign training would be awesome as well.
Definitely. Yeah, Apollo Pizzell, he is definitely a libertarian, political strategist, campaign consultant. He's the main guy from the basically the Frontier Project, where we've been focused on helping like state representative, state house level campaigns, particularly in Montana and Wyoming, states where we get more bang for our buck for political money spent. So Apollo's done really great work on campaign training.
Awesome.
Okay, anybody else?
Miguel, this is Jacob, the campaigns director. I would say you could definitely add Colorado to that list of getting bang for your buck, just to throw it out there. But nice to see you.
No doubt. Yeah, Jacob. We want to send you guys money, so I won't forget you.
Colorado has
No worries, you're all
old
good.
county.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Miguel, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it very much.
My pleasure. I'm happy to continue hanging out if you'll have me, and just
Well,
be a fly on the
as
wall.
long as you have time.
Cool, thanks. See you guys.
Okay, next week, we don't have a report from Ms. Harlow, CLC secretary. She is doing a candidate orientation for her run as town council in District 2 in Castle Rock. So she is doing that tonight. We'll go to the board reports. I'm going to ask, has everybody here looked at all of the board reports from all the other directors? I would hope that you have before the meeting, so if you have any questions, this would be the right time to raise those questions. But that's one of the things I feel is very important. The only thing I really have to add to my report is LPCO every year over the Labor Day weekend does a camping trip. And we're actually going up scouting tomorrow to see if the spot that I think will work will work. And as soon as that's confirmed, I'll be letting David know, and he'll be sending out an email to everybody. And of course, I'm going to want to have that put on social media as well. But that's a 3-day camping trip. A lot of guys go up a couple of days ahead of time to secure the spot. And it's always a lot of fun. You know, a lot of times we'll have 20 people. One year we had 30. And it's always been a lot of fun. And hopefully this year we'll be able to have a campfire. That's kind of a big deal, but it's been wet enough in the mountains and it shouldn't be a problem. So as soon as I confirm the meeting spot, I'll let everybody know. Anna?
Nothing further to add.
Okay. Kevin?
Nothing further to add.
I do have one question for you.
Yes, sir.
Where do we stand with the Secretary of State at this point?
Oh, all reports have been filed. All appeals have been submitted. And conversations with the Secretary of State's office suggest that we should be in good shape on those appeals. And I'll reiterate to the board that if for some reason we end up on the wrong side of those appeals, that I know of someone who is willing to make a donation to make up for that.
Well, we're not going to hang you out. Mistakes happen, and that's just one of those things that we just want to make sure doesn't happen again.
Of course.
So, all right, Secretary.
Nothing to add, just highlight in my report a thank you to Karen Ann for doing the minutes for me last month.
Great. Thank you, Andy. I noticed in your report there are no pending deadlines that we need to be aware of, so nothing to
There actually were 2 of them at the end. One of them was we need to put out a call for platform and bylaws committees.
Yep, we got that on the agenda for
Yep, I'm sorry, yeah, so you have it, and then there was one we don't have to do that today, but it'll be February the earliest we can have our convention if we do it today, so it's gonna be about that time. Sooner the better. Yeah, big agreed. And then there was one more, let me find it, I don't have it pulled up. Sorry about that. 2 seconds. Sorry, everybody. Oh, we need to formally appoint the convention, which I couldn't write. I think we already did, but that was just the only other thing that was formally form the convention committee, which I believe we did, but that was the only other thing in the report.
And you've already formed the convention committee mostly, haven't you?
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. Yes, we have our first meeting tomorrow.
Great, thank you. All right. Affiliates.
Nothing to add.
I have a couple questions for you. Bear with me. Let me find your report here. You noted in your report how that we have a potential of boulder folding. How long ago did you find out that they were about ready to go in?
Well, we've been working on it for a few months. Me and Bo have been talking about trying to put something together. He ended up just hosting his annual meeting. They had kind of a more turnout, we're able to elect the board, but they don't really continue past the election without new people getting on board.
Have we put out an email to that effect yet, to all the Boulder County people?
No, we have not.
I suggest that you do that, you form the email and get it over to Mr. Atkins so he can send it out to all the Boulder County Libertarians. I'd love to see the Boulder County group start meeting on a weekday evening rather than lunch on a day that's impossible for a lot of people to make it. I've had a lot of pushback from people in Boulder County that they'd love to go to the meetings, but they can't make it, they're working. So that is not something that allows for growth. So I would encourage you to bring that to his attention, whoever's running the group right now, and see if that can be changed. Let's get an email out and let's see if we can get him some help.
Yep.
Campaigns. Jacob, do you have anything for us?
No, I have nothing additional to add.
Mr. Atkins, you have your hand up?
Yes, Jacob, a couple
Yes.
of weeks ago, you said something on the board list about something going on in Gunnison. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, it's kind of a personal vendetta a little bit, but basically there are a few Democrats who kind of run Gunnison who I think we need to take out. It's selfish because basically they're good friends with my fiance, and they told my fiance that she should not marry me because I'm a libertarian and that we're all psychopaths. So I feel like in line with what the Democrats did to the Republicans in this state, as they said, bigots will only understand when we take their power away from them. So I'm going to take these bigots' power away from them. And I'm going to work on forming an affiliate in Gunnison because there are more third-party voters in Gunnison than there are Republicans. So my guess is we stand a better chance than the Republicans do.
Thank you, Jacob. I'm going to go back for a moment to Kyle. We had somebody reach out and said that they wanted to be involved in starting a group in Gunnison.
Yep.
And where do we stand with that?
Yeah, so he did recently get back to me. Let's see. So I guess he's at this point, I believe, just looking for some more information. Just emailed
Been in
me
contact with
yesterday, I believe. What's that?
You've been in contact with that person?
Oh yeah, we emailed, or he emailed me, I emailed him back, and he just got back to me the other day.
That's another email that we should do. The county that Gunnison is in, let's get an email out to all of the libertarians in that county and see if we can get an initial meeting scheduled. And if you would take that under your wing and get that handled, Kyle, I think that would be a good thing because we have a couple of people that want to be involved and get a group going. So let's help them with that. That's our job. Mr. Actor.
I would also suggest that we have the entire voter list for Gunnison County as well as the state, and that we might want to send postcards to unaffiliated voters in Gunnison County or something like that. I think there are about 6,000 unaffiliated voters in Gunnison County, total of 11,000. We could pick a subset of that, like people under 30 or something.
Thank you, David. I think that's a good idea.
Invite them to Jacob's wedding.
My second question for Jacob is, I think somebody signed up as a write-in candidate for Senate District 3.
Yes.
Has that person filled out the paperwork for the Secretary of State, which I think was due on July 21st?
Yep. Yeah, they submitted everything, I think, on June 14th to be in there as a write-in candidate. So they'll be in for Senate District 3.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I have him up on the website. I'm just waiting for a picture from him.
Okay, communications.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, sorry.
Go ahead.
Communications, I want to give Jacob a big commendation for getting the candidate information to us so that we could get candidate checks sent out. The Libertarian Party of Colorado has contributed, more to candidates this cycle than we have at any point in our past, ever. And those checks went out, and got a confirmation today from candidate for Secretary of State Bennett Rutledge, who thanked the party for the contribution. And a lot of this is thanks to Jacob's effort. So thank you, Jacob, for coordinating all that and getting money to our candidates.
No problem. I'd also thank you, Gavin, for getting that all done. And I'll give a shout out real quick to Bennett. He did training with 3 people who are now working on campaigns as campaign treasurers. So he got us a really good start on building a good volunteer list from year to year who will know how to work on campaigns.
Thank you, Jacob. All right, communications.
Nothing further to add.
I'm looking at your report here, and it looks like we've had a tremendous growth on TikTok, and especially Facebook. Tremendous. Facebook
Yes.
reach has gone up 321% in 1 month.
Yes, Hannah's been really doing a great job with Instagram and Facebook. I started the TikTok off of my own personal knowledge with the platform, and yeah, I don't know, I can't remember the total views are, but 300 or 400,000 total views on the platform. That dwarfs our YouTube account by multitudes. So, getting the message out about liberty, it's really, we're crafting it, we're honing it. That's why I'm excited about working with Reed and the team in the future.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions of campaigns or communications? Excuse me. Hearing none. We'll go to fundraising. What do you have for us, Aaron?
Nothing further to add.
Okay. Legislation.
He said he had to step away for a moment.
Okay, membership.
Nothing further on my end. I would like to say that I apologize to everybody for being unresponsive and behind the past month. I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff on my end, personal issues, so apologies about that.
Okay, thank you. Outreach.
You're muted, Ryan. Ryan, you're on mute.
Damn it, I feel like such an idiot. Okay, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Jim Wiley and the Pueblo County affiliate. I'm just kind of getting my feet wet in this position and kind of learning on the fly. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from some other people about some ideas and best practices and things like that. And I certainly appreciate the feedback, but I also just want to highlight, with Jim kind of just taking some initiative, like I'll, help get us across the finish line, with paperwork, insurance, funding and everything like that. So I just wanted to highlight that we can get wins, and it's certainly helpful when we have some support from the grassroots. So big shout out to Jim. That's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do we stand with the volunteers? How many more people are needed?
Well, Jim has basically, his group has already pledged to fill any gaps that are not already full. So we're actually, theoretically at 100%. It's just certainly would like the more we can get so that, we're not burning anybody out down in the Pueblo affiliate. But yeah, we're already kind of there.
Are we to the point yet, Brian, that we can put the call out to people just to come down to the fair and spend a couple hours at the booth, and we'll have plenty of room for them and plenty of opportunity for them, but they don't have to sign up for a particular shift, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be fantastic if anybody wants to do it. You know, the unfortunate thing is that it is in Pueblo, just geographically. It's certainly a challenge. That was some of the feedback that I had received this week as well, was, you know, again, trying to get some more organization around it. So I take that feedback in stride and kind of learning at, you know, as we keep going, and hopefully we can have a little bit more structure in the future. But yeah, if anybody wants to come, like, that would be fantastic.
Any questions about outreach? Mr. Ecken?
Yes, I'd like to know if you want QR codes for various sign-up pages. Would that help?
I'm sorry, I heard various sign-up pages, but I didn't hear the first thing you said.
Yeah. Would you like QR codes for like the donate page and the join page and voter lookup?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah.
I'll send them to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, David. All right, staff reports. Mr. Ecken?
Nothing further to add.
Okay. Mr. Engel, technology.
So I hadn't submitted a written report, but we had a couple things that we noted before the meeting. Thanks, Reed, for joining to help me cover the stream tonight, and also for filling in for me next month. I really like the idea of, if you're able to donate some time and equipment with microphones, I think that would definitely help the audio output quality from the boardroom. And I think so far the stability of the stream has been helped a lot by just reducing the frame rate and the resolution. That seems to have fixed a lot. So yeah, also I'll remind if everyone could check their junk folders for the calendar updates, and just make sure that you have that on your calendar. That's how I'll update the links every month.
Thank you, John. Members of the public, I'm going to ask that if we are still continuing to have audio problems, would you please send an email to the technology director at LPCO, and also CC me, so that we are aware of any continuing problem. I think John has this pretty well figured out, but in the event that we're still experiencing problems, if we don't hear from the public, we don't know. So if you would, please let us know, send an email to John, and then also, you know, as a technology director, and then CC me as a chair. And that way we can hopefully correct anything further that needs to be done. We're going to discuss this further on the agenda, further down on the agenda as well. All right, committee reports. Mr. Seebeck, Style Committee.
Nothing to report, just waiting on the board to finish the review to either vote it okay or send it back to us.
I haven't seen that yet, Mr. Seebeck.
It was sent out 2 months ago.
Okay, we'll get that on the agenda for next month. Merchandising Committee, Mr. Luria.
So we got a new shirt up this past month, which says "Print guns, not money," which is awesome, and that got a lot of great responses on our Facebook. I know when Hannah had posted it, I think we sold a couple of them. You know, the merch store is probably not doing as well as I personally would like, but I mean, at this point, we've made probably a little over $600 on it, so it's not too bad.
Okay.
Mr. Seebeck, regarding the stop committee report. We actually, on the Scrum board that's currently committed for this sprint, is getting reviewed by everybody, and we will all have like that reviewed and read in detail for you. Come next board meeting. Sorry, great. That's committed to this group.
Okay, advertising committee, which is headed up by Ms. Harlow. She is not here. So we'll go to, we don't have any special orders or unfinished business, but we do have some new business to discuss. I think it's time for us to put the call out for the bylaws committee and the platform committee. I would suggest that we get that put out here in the next couple of weeks. Andy, that's kind of in your wheelhouse, and you can use the templates that were created from previous secretaries, but let's get those emailed out. Let's also get them on Discord as well as Facebook. Any input on that? Okay.
It's formally moved to do that, or is it just within our power?
It happens every year, so just the call is to do it now. Cool. Next thing is discussion on how to grow more affiliates. Does anybody have any ideas on how we can get more affiliate growth? We had some pretty good starts up in northern Colorado, and I know Larimer is coming along very strongly. Aaron's very, very deeply involved in that, and I spoke with Kevin a couple days ago, and they're feeling as though they're right on the cusp. What are your thoughts on that, Aaron?
I mean, it's going well-ish, but we need to set up a regular time and place and actually put it on the website. We've been coordinating a little bit on the fly, and I think if we do that, the other thing I think that we should focus on is getting a Liberty on the Rocks set up in northern Colorado, which we've talked about quite a bit. And I think that could be a really good way to reach out to college students in kind of a no pressure way, which would be ideal. So it's coming along, but like we don't have enough people up here who have the time to actually set up a board. So we are going to just focus on getting more regulars who maybe will hopefully have some time.
I believe Mr. Stapleton was, at one point, he was involved in trying to get the Liberty and the Rocks started up there, but that was during the COVID thing. Have you been in contact with Mr. Stapleton?
I don't know who that is. The one who's been sort of taking point on that has been Brandon Work.
Okay, Mr. Stapleton was our former legislative director, and he is, I believe, betrothed, maybe not yet, to Leslie Hollywood, and they live up in Weld County, I believe. And I know they were very, very anxious about helping Liberty on the Rocks get started up there. So Aaron, if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to send Mr. Stapleton's contact information to you.
Yeah, if you have contact information, that would definitely be the most helpful thing that you could do. Thank you.
I have it. I'll send it to
Yeah,
you.
I believe he's in Johnstown.
Is it Johnstown, Nick?
I think so.
Okay.
So he's out in my neck of the woods, so you might as well include me on that as well. You know, I think adding to what Aaron said, you know, we need to try and get more people in the Discord. That's our, you know, primary planning method. And, you know, our Discord is relatively active despite having, you know, not a ton of users. So if we can get more people, you know, at least to just see that, you know, there is stuff going on, they'd probably be more likely and more willing to start showing up to stuff.
Okay, any other ideas on how to grow more affiliates? Mr. Acton?
We have the entire voter list, and it seems to me like with the election coming up, we could promote some of our local candidates and perhaps encourage people to contact the party that way, even though they're not registered Ls. Might be one thing to look at.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I definitely think there's more we could be doing with the CRM. I just don't know exactly what that is, but it seems like there has to be something we could be doing there.
Aaron, would you be able to take a few minutes and put together an email and send it to Mr. Atkins so that he can get that forwarded off to all of the voters in Larimer County?
An email about what exactly?
Just about the meetings and getting involved, support our candidates, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Great, thank you. All right, next thing I'm going to talk about, this is kind of directed towards our outreach director. Ryan, have you been able to get a copy of that inventory that was done a year ago from Mr. King on all the outreach supplies that are in the trailer?
No, I need to talk. Jacob and I had spoken about that because Jacob has that, so I just need to follow up with him. That's
I'm
not
sorry.
a problem. I can do that.
I missed that. What do you need to catch up on me with? I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Remember, Jacob, you and I had a conversation offline about the inventory for the trailer.
Yes. And actually, no worries. I think I actually have some time upcoming this weekend or something. We can definitely get together, and I can always start it even if you're not around. Not a problem.
That was already done a year ago, guys, and I don't see any reason to duplicate the efforts if we can get a copy of that report from Mr. Kane. He and his buddy came up and they pulled everything out of the trailer. They reorganized it. They took photographs of everything that we had, documented everything, but I've never been able to get a copy of it from him. Maybe
I'll reach out to him because I have to reach out to him about some stuff for candidates anyways, to get his GPS software. So I'll ask him about that as well.
Okay, thank you. The reason I'm bringing this
up. Thank you, Jacob.
Actually, when we have the event coming up here in Pueblo here in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, if we need anything to take down to the event, we need to have that inventory, so that needs to happen very soon. And I'm guessing we need some more Nolan quizzes, probably some more stickers, some more pens, for people that are taking the Nolan test. And then obviously handouts for all the different things that the Libertarian Party of Colorado believes in. So if we could get on top of that here pretty quickly, that would be very important.
Yep, I'll see that through. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, next thing, I mentioned very briefly the LPCO camping trip is coming up on Labor Day weekend. I'll have the location. I hope to have it determined by tomorrow. Once we have that, we want to get that advertised not only with an email, but also blast it out on social media. So communications, if you would make sure that that's on the Facebook page, on the Discord page, anywhere else that we can advertise it. It's always a lot of fun, but we don't want to keep.
Wayne, is that the 2nd through the 4th?
I'm sorry, say that again.
September. Is that September 3rd and 4th you'd be talking about?
I believe it is. Let me pull up the calendar here.
Labor Day weekend, yeah.
Labor Day weekend, I believe.
It is. That is.
Yeah, it's 3rd, 4th, and 5th of August.
September.
Yeah, some people will go up ahead of time. Some people will stay late, depending upon what their schedules are. But hopefully we'll be able to find a person or two that can go up early to make sure that we get our preferred camping spots reserved, or not reserved, but taken. So we're going to be camping in the National Forest. No hookups, no bathrooms, and no rules. So I think that's going to be something that we can have a lot of fun with. And I know a lot of the people with the Mises group have been very interested in what we're going to do this year. They haven't joined us in the past, so I hope to have everybody's participation if we can this time. All right, next thing we have is, I think it's about time for us to do another membership drive for National Party members. We did a great job before convention bringing our numbers up, but we haven't done much on that since. So membership, if you would kind of take the helm on this, Karen and I will be doing a lot of calling ourselves. We're going to start with lapsed members, but we should be calling all libertarians. You know, if we have a phone number, call them. If not, send them an email. But we need to contact everybody and try to get our national membership up. Not only does the national party need the funding that's caused by more national membership signups, but also it helps Colorado in the amount of delegate allocation that we have.
And it also helps guarantee our appointments to the platform committee.
You bet, you bet. And so let's make an effort to get something going here in the next month or so. Maybe we could do a phone banking event or something like that, and see if we can get that national membership number up. I'd love to see us in the top 6. I think we're number 8 right now, but I'd love to see us up to number 6. That would be a big feather in our cap, and it would secure our positions on the platform and bylaws committees as well.
Just a heads up, Wayne, if you're going after lapsed members by using the CRM, we might still be out of date with Razor's Edge up until the point where all the Razor's Edge information is merged into Civi CRM. We ran into that problem when Karen Ann tried this last month.
I agree. I had the same problem myself. And Mr. Ecken, is there a way that we can get more accurate information on lapsed members?
We can get a list monthly from Robert Kraus at National, and I think that would be more accurate.
Okay.
Is that in the data dump, David?
All right.
What?
Is that list in the data dump?
Membership director be able to reach out to Robert Kraus at National and put a request in for a more current list of the lapsed national members in Colorado.
Yeah, David, do you know if that list is in the data dump that he sends every month?
That is the data dump.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
national
And we should have the data already. We just need to utilize it.
Did you get your question answered there?
Yeah, I did. Thanks.
Do we know how many members we currently, is it 6,000? Is that the number that I remember?
600.
National members.
600.
National members.
What would it take to get to number 6? Or
I think we need to get another 300 or 400. That's very doable with a handful of people on the phones. So we need to put a push on that.
I mean, honestly, last year we did a phone drive for 2, maybe 3 days, and we were able to meet the number we needed to keep what we currently had. So, you know, if we put in a couple weeks of this, I don't see why we can't crush those numbers.
I agree. Just takes a little bit of effort. Well, might be a lot of effort, but just takes the effort. All right, next thing. John and I spoke about this before we started the meeting, but we've had some public complaints about the audio quality, and hopefully we'll have some input after this meeting telling us whether our audio is better or not. In the event that the audio quality hasn't improved to the point that we would like it to be, we have several mechanisms that we can use to fix this. Mr. Dawson has offered to loan us a couple microphones and a mixing board, but there's another alternative. Al actually makes an extension microphone. They call it an extended mic, and it works along with the mic that is built into the Owl, and it gives it much more range. So if people happen to be sitting further away from the Owl, they can still be heard. And that's especially important if we have members of the public that don't sit in our small circle here. So we may consider that, but let's wait until we get some feedback from the public as to how well this came out. And I'll listen to this as soon as it's published on YouTube and see what my opinions are as well. And would you do the same, John? And see what our thoughts are on that. And if we have to make a purchase, then we'll do that by an email vote. But we'll wait until we get some input from the public, and anybody else that wants to listen to the video on YouTube, tell me what your opinions are as well. All right, next thing we have here is the Center-Right Coalition. And there was some discussion earlier about getting a representative to come to the Center-Right Coalition. Their meetings are on Monday morning. Is there anybody here that's available on Monday mornings?
For the moment, I am and can volunteer. That may change within the next couple weeks, though.
Okay. Any other volunteers?
I could volunteer on an alternating basis.
Okay. And I will step up and fill any holes that are there, but I think Frank's been bugging us to have a representative there for years now. And it's always been a problem getting people on Monday mornings because everybody's working. But Jacob, if you would kind of let us know where you stand, and then Reed obviously volunteered just now, and then I'll pick up any slack in that. If anybody else can make time and come down to the Independence Institute on Monday morning, just let us know, and let's try to get everybody here.
And they do have a Zoom option.
Yes. Say that again?
They do have a Zoom option.
They do have a Zoom option?
Or it may not be Zoom, but they have a video option.
Yes, they do have a Zoom option. And Kathleen Chandler is the gatekeeper for that.
Okay. Frank, would you happen to have her contact information? Could you send it to me?
Sure, easy.
Okay. Very good. We have an opportunity for the public to comment. Call. Yeah, we already talked about that. Okay. Andy's in order. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything you want to bring up, Frank, before we shut her down?
Yeah, just if any of you are familiar with Douglas Bruce, during the Western Conservative Summit, he broke his left arm and is now, I think, proceeding to try to sue the hotel. Sort of typical Douglas Bruce.
Okay, I'll ask the question. How did he break his arm?
I think he fell or tripped on some of their equipment or furniture.
That's unfortunate, but that's Douglas Bruce.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
I moved two meetings ago. We agreed to spend up to $300 on project management software.
Mm-hmm.
In the process of researching that, we actually met a volunteer who is going to help us with project management, who has a little bit more experience in his career than I do. And so I would like us to, I would like to move to reconsider that motion in light of that, and I'll bring it back up again later, but we don't need to, I would like to spend some time under his advisement before we actually make a purchase.
Okay. If you would get us a report before the next meeting, Andy, or even that's something that we can, since we've already voted on it to pass it, we can make a motion online for that. As soon as you have
So it's going to be more than whatever we do upon looking just for my initial research. It is going to, like, the good options are going to be more than 300. So I'm okay with just undoing that motion.
Let's can't undo the motion.
Well, you can move to reconsider.
Yes, you can.
If it's seconded.
I think we should amend it after we find out what the new number is.
Is it okay to just sit there unexecuted though?
Yep. It is. Let's get the new numbers and then we'll amend the motion, and it'll be reconsideration of the previous motion.
Okay.
So, all right. Anything else? We have no further business. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Night, everyone.
Thanks, John. Well done.
Reed? Yes. What's your
Getting a hang of
contact
this, man.
information?
Well, we'll see. I thought last month was
Waiting for the
pretty good,
comments.
and then and then there was a storm on Facebook, so